Influencers, the stars of the 21st century. They educate and entertain us and their followers. From a 6-year-old Diana to Mr. Beast or PewDiePie on the global stage, from Huda Kattan and Khalid Al-Amiri in the UAE, they have amassed a huge following that brands often want to be able to influence in a positive manner. Today, we take a look at the cost and the financial side of being an influencer. Our guest for today is Seher Mansoor, one of the top social media influencers and bloggers in the UAE.
Thank you.
Seher, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me over.
Most welcome. I understand you're a qualified business lawyer and you worked in retail for 10 years. So give us a little bit more insight into your story and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I got my higher education done in England and I graduated as a business lawyer. But when I came back to Dubai and I started applying for jobs here and in a law firm, I was not able to get it because here to be a practicing lawyer, you need to understand reading and writing of Arabic, which I'm not that good at. So then I started looking for jobs in retail because retail is something does not require a lot of experience and it's a platform where you can grow with time.
Sure.
And I was lucky enough, I got into a brand which was from England and having a base from England, I was able to get that job and I stayed in that job for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how did blogging happen? I mean, you started off, was it a natural extension from retail or were you doing some of that already?
It was nothing to do with my job, actually. I started blogging while I was working as a full-time employee with my company. And it just randomly one night I decided to make my Instagram account public and see, what people are actually doing. Because I used to follow a lot of people on different accounts, but I honestly did not know what influencer, what blogger is. I just thought people are just, randomly sharing their personal life. And I was like, I have so much to share as well. Why not I do that too? It was very later in the stage when I actually realized that it is actually a profession and people are actually making money out of it.
Yep.
And it could work as my, side income apart from my 9-to-5 job.
Correct.
And I actually started enjoying it with time and when I saw the growth I was like, okay, I think I'm good at it.
Picking up from there, there's a perception that this is very easy to get into. It's a perception or maybe a misconception that it's easier than it looks. And I did a bit of a dive into your channel the first post that I could find was from November 8th, 2013, which is about 8 years to the month if you look at it. So it's not been a short journey, it's been a long journey. And from that first post, which I still recollect,
it was a
window, that's how you started and you've gotten here. So what has been for you the ups and downs or the moments for, through that journey from getting from that first post to where you are today?
I'll tell you what exactly I was doing. In 2013, my account was private until 2017 November. So for 4 years, I was sharing my cooking recipes, my kids, what we do. And it was just, among my social circle, my close friends and family, because it was a private account. But like what we do right now on WhatsApp group is, today I cooked this and we share it on the family group. That is what I was doing on Instagram. But then in 2017 is when I realized that making an account public will give my page exposure to everyone.
Okay.
People of my age. The main reason was me to become a mom blogger was for my children. Living in UAE as an expat, we don't have much family around.
Correct.
So my kids don't have cousins or children of their age apart from school. After school, they have no social circle.
Sure.
So I used to watch all these mom bloggers on their pages and I was like, oh my God, this, I did not know about this place. I did not know about this place. This is such a kid-friendly place. This is a nice cafe. I should take my kids here. And then I started interacting with them that, how did you find about these places? I have lived in Dubai since 1989. And I don't know about these places. And then they used to tell me, oh, we got an invite. That word, invite, I was like, what did you do to get that invite? Yeah. And then, some of them were very helpful. They were like, because we are on the list with a PR company and that's how you get invitation based on your page, your profile. If it's something to do with a mom and a child, you will get invited to such places for reviews.
Correct.
And then I was like, okay, let me try this. I'll make my account public. And the only purpose was so that I go and meet these mom bloggers because I see their kids were same age as my kids, and my kids needed that exposure out in the world. Apart from, school and home,
Yep.
there was no other life. Apart from, we don't have much family here.
Sure.
So that was the main reason to, expand my social circle and my friends' social circle, my kids' social circle as well.
Was it scary?
To be very honest, from my school days, I've been very confident when it comes to speaking. Camera and mic never bothered me.
Yep.
So the first time when I made a story making, facing the camera myself, it was not scary. Initially, I thought, it's very easy. I am just sharing exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But gradually, when I went into it, I realized that people notice everything.
Okay.
It could be, from a positive point of view, oh, wow, you do this. And it could be like, oh, why do you do this?
Okay.
That's when it becomes difficult, because then you become very mindful of what do you want to share and how much do you want to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you realize, where you have to draw that line. That's when it gets difficult, because then somewhere or the other, no matter how much I try to be myself, I'm restricting a part of me because I don't want, negative criticism.
Sure. So, you've spoken on something that I think everyone who wants to get into this sort of has to make a decision with regard, right? From going from private, going to public, and taking all that comes with it. Of course, in the beginning, I'm assuming that you posted a lot lesser in terms of frequency. How did that grow? How much content do you post, and do you feel a pressure to have that you have to post no matter what, and you have to sort of keep putting out a message?
Most of the content creators, 80% of their content is their personal life. And that we have to post because that is what connects us with our audience.
Correct.
If audience don't feel the connection and they only see brand promotions and campaigns, then they'll be like, this is like a TV ad or a magazine.
Sure.
And if there's no connection, they won't come back. They won't come back frequently to your page. They might even forget about your page. Oh, she's talking about brands again. So sharing your personal life, if you're ready to, you give it out to the world, then I think anybody can blog.
Okay. What are the kind of posts that you see engage most? I mean, is there a particular kind of post that you feel a lot of people tend to respond to from your audience, from your tribe?
For me, it's mostly very frequently I speak about social issues that's going around the world.
Okay.
I think when the entire world, when they know something is going on and they want to get more information from a personal point of view.
Yeah.
So instead of going to news channels and magazines and listening to different YouTube videos and all these fake news on you get on your WhatsApp group,
Sure.
people try and they want to listen to someone they connect with, they relate to, and
Correct.
they think the person has a valid point of view on some aspect. That's the kind of content that works for me, because I know my audience, they trust my word, and they actually wait for my feedback on several issues like Black Lives Matters. What's your say on this? Something happened in my country. They are like, Saharapi, what are you going to say about this? We want to hear your comments on this. So I think social issues is what they relate to, and a lot of content based around a woman.
Okay.
Me as a woman, my role as a mother, my role as a woman, my role as an independent individual. I think that's what people want to hear, to get motivated, to get,
Sure.
some people just need a word of few words just to, to go out and do something that they've been holding back. They want that confidence, they want that push. And I believe so, and I know so that I am able to do that through my platform.
Awesome. That is great. And so now getting into a little more of the financial side, right? Because we do tend to look at things from that aspect. What are the means or the ways that you are able to sort of engage and monetize what you do? I mean, I'm assuming that there are brands that would approach you. Can you give us a little more insight into how that happens? What is the sort of system that how does one get a brand to approach them?
Okay. So I've worked as a social media influencer in Dubai and in Pakistan. And what I see is the market is pretty much similar. There are agencies. Agencies have, brands listed with them. So a brand will give like a brief to an agency. This is the kind of content I want. This is the kind of product I want to promote. So suggest me names of influencers that are listed with you.
Correct.
So if I'm listed with the agency, they would suggest my name if it's a product related to a mom or a lifestyle or a fashion, because these are the things that I do, and agencies are familiar with my content.
Yeah.
So they will suggest my name to them. If the brand agrees, then they will come back to me and ask me how much would I charge for A, B, and Z. It could be anything. Sometimes they only want stories. Sometimes they only want posts. Sometimes they want now, because reels are trending. Although reels look like, it's a 30-second video, but trust me, it takes the whole day. So I will not shy. It's a lot of work, because the transitions need to be very smooth. You have to be on the beat. So there's a lot of back work that goes, when just posting a picture, trust me, is much easier. You get ready, you pose, and it's done. But video content and reel content are actually difficult.
Okay.
So according to the requirement of the brand, I will give my code.
Yep.
If they agree, then I get the campaign. Many times I don't get the campaign because sometimes maybe I overcharge.
Sure.
But then I know the work it takes. And this is what today we are going to discuss. Yeah. Why should influencers, be paid? Because a lot of agencies, a lot of companies, they want to do barter deals, which I am totally against of.
Okay.
Because we will talk about that as well. Because content creation is a skill.
Absolutely.
And giving away that skill for free of cost is not fair for an influencer.
I can agree. From a perspective of intellectual property and the kind of things that you're doing, there should be a fair exchange, and of course. I've got a question for you on the barter side of things, because it does fit in very well with what we're looking at, right? And we'll come to that. But one of the things that, and I think taking from that point, what do you see brands getting wrong a lot of the time? So if you had to give a message out to the companies and brands that were approaching you, that wish they'd done this differently.
Thank God you asked me this. I wanted a platform where I could talk about this. I actually feel, and I want to actually suggest the brands. I know I'm no one to, but from my experience, I would really love to suggest them that instead of hiring 100 influencers, get 10.
Yeah.
But, get 10 of that kind who can, give you a value return.
Yeah.
I think it's more about quality than the quantity. I know the quantity aspect is also important for brands, because, every other page that you go, you see the same thing. Then you get curious to know, everybody's talking about it, let me know.
Sure.
But I think treating everybody the same way, like you send one same gift to everyone and expect a lot of exposure, that's not fair. I think that somewhere they have to draw a line. These are the influencers who are good at creating content, and these are the ones we want to, we should actually work on on a payment.
On a collaboration.
And of course, new influencers, me as a beginner also did barter deals, but that was just to get into the market, to get exposure, to show people that, I am capable of these things. But now that I have learned it, and I know my skills are of value, if I tell my followers, this is the product that I've been using for these many days, and I have seen results, and it has to be genuine also.
Of course.
It's not advertising. So I know my followers will definitely run back to that page. And I have got that feedback from brands that, the collaboration with you worked so well. We did this much, we did that much. So I don't want to lose that trust with my followers. And for that, I always only take deals which I think my followers will connect with. And of course, it has to, pay me well as well.
Correct. And sure. Was there a turning point where you felt that there was a shift that happened? So, from the point that you started out, let's say with your account going public, was there a point that you could sort of look back and identify that, okay, things started changing after this? I either started building more influence, more brands started being interested. If you could share what that was?
Yes, when I started back in 2017, I myself did not know about, the social media as a whole. Okay, brands can promote. Brands are actually promoting their products through influencers, through normal people. I did not know that. And now a lot of people who came after me, obviously they see a lot of people before them. Yeah. The thing is now, almost everybody is an influencer. Every other account on social media is public, and everybody is trying to get brands. There are many brands, and that is exactly what brands want. Actually, they want a lot of people, and that is what I'm saying where they're going wrong. They're focusing on the quantity and not the quality.
Correct. Correct.
So yes, a lot of brands have started using social media as their mode of advertisement. And ever since these reels and videos and these things, transitions have started coming out, so brands are now more focused on create something that is more engaging, more catchy, and should be watched on repeat. So this is what brands actually request us to create.
Sure.
So now and before, now we have a lot of pressure, because there's a lot of competition. There are so many talented people out there. You'll be amazed if you dive more into the Instagram and see there are so many talented people who, like, with anything, their skills, be it makeup, be it cooking, be it just talking, like, it's very difficult to compete now. I mean, to make your mark out there, it's very difficult now.
Yeah. So, and today, if you look at it, many, like you mentioned, many people are looking at making this as a career. Yeah. So they're looking at this as a possible career option for them, either full time or part time. As a stream of income that they can generate. And like you mentioned, it is a crowded space at this point, or it seems to be a crowded space. So, do you think that this is something that is good to pursue as a sort of career option from a financial perspective? How do you see that planning out?
See, when I started blogging, I had a fixed job, 9 to 5. Yeah. That was taking care of my expenses. Living in a country where
cost of living is
very high. Like be it education, be it your rentals,
correct,
petrol.
Absolutely.
So I will not lie. Initially, all my bills were paid through my salary.
Sure.
And this was just like a side income. Oh, I did this campaign. I got this much amount. Oh, kids, let's go have, let's have a treat. It was just like a pocket money or like a treat for me initially.
Correct.
And like a lot of people think that becoming an influencer means, you're floating in money and, you're paid checks after checks. It's instant money, that's sure, but it goes instantly as well because it's a small amount. And it's a constant work.
Yep.
It's not like you work 30 days a week, 30 days a month, and then you get a paycheck in the end. It's you get paid for campaigns, and each campaign can take like a week to produce content, and then 30 days to get paid. So it's not fixed.
Correct.
It's not constant.
Yep.
So a few months I'll have like, I'm sorted. Another month I'm like, I need work. So a person at my stage where I am right now, I would still suggest we need a side job.
Sure.
We need a side job or, a partner who's working full time because, yes, social media say you cannot pay the big expenses like your rentals and educations and stuff.
So it's not reached the stage where you could take it off
as a full-time career, not yet.
And for somebody who's looking to get into it, they should look at, what is the sort of time, effort, energy that they need to allocate to something like this? So from an understanding perspective, because, again, from the outside, it seems, making a video so easy. Yeah. Or, getting that picture is so easy. But if you really get into it, what is the commitment that is required from someone who's getting into it, starting off?
Well, first thing is you need to have a mindset where you are ready to compromise a lot of family time at times, your emotional health, your mental health, and these are the things that you need to consider. If you're ready to allow these to fluctuate up and down, then go for it. But yes, financial aspect is very important. You need a back support. You need a backup plan to start with. Once you progress, once it becomes a full-time career and you're able to make an income which is fixed and which is, enough for you to, do your monthly budgeting and all, then it's fine as a full-time job. But initially, to begin with, you definitely need a side job or, a husband who's working or you yourself working and doing it as a side job.
So from a time perspective, I just wanted to sort of get from a time commitment perspective, let's say, there's someone who wants to get into it, he was working a job already. What would you say is the amount of time that someone would need to spend to sort of start developing and growing something like this?
You need a lot of time, actually. From my point of view, when I was working with my company, there used to be times when, because social media influencing is all about you being out there.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to be at events, you have to be at social gatherings because that's how, you build network. And with a job, it was very difficult for me because obviously 9 to 5 I'm working and all the events and all the, all these special events used to happen during the daytime. And I used to miss out on a lot. So time-wise, weekends, I was never free. I always had, bookings like photo shoot booking, or I have to, do a collaboration for an outfit and stuff. So time commitment is, you need to give your 100%. And initially, you have to give a lot of time from your daily routine. And that's what a lot of women especially find it difficult, because with family, with kids, it's difficult. And that is why I chose to be a mom blogger, because a lot of content that I share is what I do. So I'm not going out of the way to create the content, but hats off to all those people who actually, are living a different life at home, but a total different life outside, which is work. So their commitment is commendable, because it requires traveling, it requires a lot of outfit change, makeup, and camera. They're always behind the cameras. So it's actually very exhausting mentally as well.
The money is good, or rather it becomes good, I think, after a certain point of time. What part of that do you see going, so two questions. One, do you feel that the compensation that you're able to make is in proportion to the time, energy and effort that you sort of spend? So do you think it's fair in terms of that kind of side? And how much of that do you need to sort of put back into your channel, into your business, into sort of growing this?
Actually, we don't realize, but to create a content, we actually invest a lot of money as well. People don't realize that. And that is what we keep in mind when we are quoting a brand. Okay, our time costs money. For example, if I have to go to an event and, do a coverage, so that's when they will not realize from my house to that point A to point B, the cost of petrol is involved.
Correct.
In Dubai, the parking is not free, so cost of parking is involved. And if you want coverage, if you want me to go live, I'm going to use my data. That is also at a cost. And if it's a very hi-fi event and I need a proper outfit, I might go and shop. I might go and get my hair done, to look presentable. So these are things that brands actually don't consider when they are giving you, okay, this is how much we're going to pay. But, oh, hello, what about my petrol? I have to cover my cost. And then I have to give you an amount that, I get as an incentive.
You often get remunerated in kind, the barter system. So how does that work into your finances? So now when you're looking at your finances, of course, there is for you, maybe there is a particular number that you need to hit, or there's a certain amount that you feel takes care of the the bills, and for the time, effort, energy that you sort of commit to it. When you get something in kind, how do you sort of use that? In the start, I don't know if you still do it anymore, but in the start at least, how would you sort of think about that?
See, that's what I'm saying. In the starting, I had a full-time job, so I did not mind getting gifts. Yes, send me rice. Yes, send me shoes. Fine. It's okay for me to promote as long as I'm getting free gifts.
Correct.
But ever since I've started doing this as a full-time job, I realized that a bag of rice or a pair of new shoes not helping me pay my bill. And I don't need extra luggage in my closet anymore. I need that in my bank account because I have bills to pay. I have responsibilities to fulfill. So initially doing a barter deal is, like I said, if you have a side income, then go for it. But if not, then don't waste your time and energy on something which is materialistic.
Correct. Okay. What does the future hold? Where do you see your channel going? What is the kind of longevity that we can think about, from this as a career? So if you're looking at it, trends change, people change, followers change. So how do you see the future? Where do you see yourself going next? And how long do you see yourself continuing?
I think being an influencer, it's a very unpredictable kind of a career. You can go up like in seconds, and a small mistake, a small error, or a rumor or anything, you can come down.
Absolutely.
So I personally don't think this can be a full-time career, or should be considered as one. Definitely have savings. Definitely have a side business. I started my own side business along with my influencing. And I think that is what I want to invest my payments into, because I want to grow my business. That's going to give me return constantly. This is not constant.
So that would be MSDN.
Yes.
Do tell us something about it.
Yes, MSDN, it's a modest clothing brand. And again, that brand was created keeping in mind my audience. It was done specifically for my audience because I knew I will be only promoting it through my Instagram. And I know a lot of moms, a lot of Muslim women follow me across the world who find it difficult to find modest clothing, outside UAE.
Sure.
And that is why I created this brand. I started this small baby. It's still growing slowly.
Sure.
But I think that was the best decision I made because, like I said, on days when I don't have campaigns, I have MSDN, and that's mine.
Correct. No, absolutely. And so from what I'm hearing, I would assume that this works as a great source to be able to give you that kind of income that you, or the money that you need maybe to sort of start up and try something different.
And again, it depends on person to person.
Sure.
If you're smart, you will, utilize that money for something productive.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't do that. I mean, I think savings, in the last few years, people have started realizing the importance of savings and, starting having a side business. Initially, it was, all about spending, expenses. Oh, I should have this bag. I need this shoe. She has it. I want it.
Yeah.
And actually, social media plays a big role in this,
Yeah.
Creating competition and comparison.
Oh, yeah.
That's where people start spending money.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great source of income. Yes, if you're enjoying it, like I love to enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy to make content. I love
Correct.
creating videos. I like to be creative. I love to act. And I think I'm getting this platform to, show what all I've got.
Sure.
So it's how you utilize the platform.
Yeah.
I am giving out my skills. I am, experimenting new things, and I'm getting paid in return. But then that doesn't mean it's easy money and it should go easily.
Absolutely.
No, that's what I said. That's why I started MSDN. A few months into my blogging, I was like, okay, my husband is taking care of majority of the expenses in the house, and I need to do something for myself.
Correct.
I've always been independent financially. I was working for 10 years.
Yeah.
And last year is when with COVID and stuff, I lost my job. Still, I wanted to be independent. I went to Pakistan. I stayed there for 6 months. And I won't shy away from saying that I did not ask my husband for a single penny in these 6 months because my social media platform was already strong there.
Correct.
And I utilized it there.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's how you utilize it. I mean, getting money and spending it is not the motive. I want to save it. I have kids. I have their educations, their weddings, and maybe grandchildren. I don't know. It never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have this platform and you're able to make an income out of it, know one thing, it is not forever.
Yep.
Unless you're very, very, very lucky or someone very influential.
Sure.
A person like me, like individuals like many of us, it cannot be a permanent thing. One day it is going to stop. You're going to get old one day. You're going to get tired of creating content one day.
Sure.
So yeah, your kids are gonna grow, and who knows? Once my son might say, you need to stop recording videos. You never know. Circumstances change.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and it could go the other way as well, and you could become extremely famous.
Yeah.
There you go. So how do you plan for your finances? I mean, with one, there's a bit of an uncertainty in terms of the income. So it could be up one month, down the other month. Do you seek financial advice? Do you do it yourself? How do you go about it, given the circumstances that there's so much of?
I'm a very middle class person, and we function on budgets.
Yep.
So we know monthly where our money is gonna go. And to where the money is going to go, first we have to produce that money.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm getting my collaborations, I initially do not touch it. I actually treat my payments as a monthly salary. And end of the month is when I calculate how much I've done, how much I've made, and then I allocate it to the different responsibilities that I have to fulfill.
Sure.
At times I'm short. But I'm blessed to have a husband who's working full time. But a lot of people don't have that.
Sure.
That is why I say keep planning your finances with influential market is very important, because one month you might be loaded and the other month
Correct.
you may not be.
Yeah.
So you have to be very smart, and even after allocating your budgets, don't think that the amount remaining is for you to party. Save
Exactly.
it for next month, because you don't know. Like I said, in your job, next month I'm going to work, I'm going to get it. But in this market, you don't know next month how much you're going to get.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll just get one campaign. Then what are you going to do?
Exactly. And so it's more...
Very unpredictable.
Absolutely. So it's even more important to be able to sort of keep that money aside when you do have something. That's it.
Give it to your, the mandatory expenses. Of course, your groceries, your bills have to be paid. But yes, things like, eating out, unnecessary shopping, that can be, you can hold it until maybe next month.
Correct. When you've created a buffer for yourself and you've created some kind of pot for...
and again, I would also suggest that once you get a payment, because in Instagram, the payments are, mostly instant. You create, you post, the next day you get paid. Don't touch it.
Yeah. So Sarah, I have a question for you. In terms of the becoming a social media influencer, I mean, are there legal aspects to it that you need to look at? Are there, or is it anybody who can sort of go in and get in and start earning and taking?
There used to be a time where it was not required, but I think since the government realized that this is the new market where people are actually making money, and in Dubai, to do anything you need a license.
Sure.
To do anything you need a license, even if it's setting up a stall with samosas and stuff, you need a license.
True.
A trade license. And that's when they introduced, I think it was back in 2018 when they introduced social media influencer license.
Okay.
And that is mandatory now because a lot of brands, if you're looking to collaborate with brands, they will ask you, are you licensed?
Okay.
If you're not licensed, you lose the opportunity. That is because even for the brands also, they need to put in records the amount they paid and who did they pay the amount to. The person has to be registered, the person has to be licensed.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's not, their accounts are also messed up. But as a social media influencer, you need a license because it makes you legal to work with any brand. You're open, you're out there. And secondly, I think it gives you a security where you don't have to worry about, your payments are being delayed or, something, if anything, God forbid, goes wrong with the brands or your payments up and down. So you can always go and say, we collaborated, this is a contract. And there's one more thing that's very important when influencers are looking for collaborations and they're collaborating with the brands. Make sure that you sign a contract.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure that you sign a contract because verbal and emails are not legal. A contract where both parties sign is legal, and you can only sign a contract if you have the license.
So, how does one go about getting the license? Is there a body that governs this?
NMC does that. Initially, it was...
so, NMC for our audience is the National Media Council?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, they do that. You can go there and you don't have to show anything. Just go with your, IDs and tell them that you are a social media influencer, and immediately they will print out a license for you. You have to pay the fees. Now the fees has reduced. It's around 1,500 dirhams. But when it came out, it was 30,000 dirhams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but there were different packages on that as well. Okay. That if 5 influencers join and take one license, they can share that license. So you divide the cost.
Sure.
Or there were other ways of getting registered with agencies. So many agencies were eligible to give license to influencers, and it benefited them in a way that the influencer is restricted to work with them until the contract lasts. In return, they're giving you the license free of cost.
Okay.
So you are bound with an agency, but at least you're legal to work.
Correct.
So there are so many agencies who will be happy to accommodate this request of yours. Or if not that, then you can directly go to DED and get it done.
Yeah, but so today, is that an easy process? Or, so the amount certainly seems, a lot more reasonable compared to when it started out. And that gives you the independence, I'm assuming, that you don't...
If you have your own license, you are free to work with anyone, any brand.
Okay.
But if you're registered with an agency, then you have to get approvals from the agency if you're getting a collaboration from a brand outside their list of brands.
Sure.
So for example, if I'm listed with an agency and the brand that approached me is not working with my agency, so I have to get my approvals from the agency that, I have this collaboration request. I will be doing a content for them. I need your, approvals because I'm licensed under them. It's like sponsorship here, for anything, you need signature of your sponsor here. Yep. So it's the same thing, but it's very smooth process.
Does working through an agency have its advantages?
It does. It does, because agencies already have a lot of brands with them.
Correct.
And if they have, well-settled app and stuff, then as soon as a new campaign comes, you can actually, either bid or you can apply.
Yeah.
And since they have all your records, so there's no constant communication. How much do you want to charge?
Yeah.
And, how many, can we see your insight? Insight is something, agencies and brands actually are interested in seeing how many followers you have, what's your engagement. But with the agency, they have that, they have access to my insights all the time. So that it's a very frustrating communication between, if I'm dealing with another brand outside, take screenshot and send, and then explain them, how my followers are divided in the country and stuff. With the agency, it's actually very smooth. They have brands, and agencies have good brands.
Okay.
And they pay you in dollars.
Uh-huh.
So, and they pay you on time. So it becomes very reliable.
So it's better to sort of go with an agency rather than, by yourself, in a sense that, at least if you're starting off, I would assume.
To begin with, yes. But then again, if you have your own license from DED, then you can go to the agency and say, I want to be on your list of influencers, but I don't need a license from you. I have my own license. Okay. And you'll be welcome.
Sure. And that then is a non-exclusive sort of way to...
Yeah,
to
and then you're free to work. Then you don't have to take the approvals if you get a campaign from another brand, because they're not your sponsors.
Sure. And yeah, other than the licensing, I mean, are there other costs? So, for example, visas or other costs that would be there?
You have to have you have to be a resident anyways. To be living in UAE, so your visa is already somewhere taken care of by your husband or your work, or if you're self-employed.
Sure.
So, but yeah, you have to be a legal resident of the country, and it's a very small fees. And if now I have to renew my license, trust me, I will go ahead with DED and get my license for myself, because again, I'm already on their list with the agency, and I don't have a problem with them giving me approvals. That will be like cut off later, because I don't need their approvals for every small campaign.
Sure.
Even if it's a barter deal, I need to inform them. So now I'm finding it a bit difficult, because alhamdulillah, I've reached a point where I get a lot of work, but then that constant correspondence takes a lot of time. So when I renew, I'll go to DED and get it done.
Do you think that so I know today it's yourself. Do you feel that if you had a team working with you, that you'd be able to do a lot more, or do you plan to get a team working with you so that you can grow the channel, or what are your thoughts on that?
Currently in my stage, I don't earn that much that I can hire people and pay their salaries.
Yeah.
But yes, people who are at that stage, I appreciate the fact that they have teams, because it makes so much of an impact on their content creation, their video quality, the concepts. I think it's better to have two minds than one alone. And me, when I create a content, like I'm acting as a wife, I'm acting as a husband, I'm acting as a child. Yeah. But when you have a team, the people are taking care of a lot of things. Like at times, I'll not lie, I've shot a whole video with my tripod and everything, did everything. When I came back in front of the camera to check, my head was cut.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I've also had instances where I did transitions, change clothes, wear clothes, change clothes, wear clothes, and realized I did not press the record button.
Oh, okay.
So having a team is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure, off your head. You don't have to worry about lights, camera, and stuff. And you just focus on, what you're creating. But eventually, if I grow, inshallah, then I would definitely hire a cameraman to go with me on events, because right now it's my child who comes with me. And I'll you have to go from down to up, but no, she'll come up to down. It's it's a lot of pressure on my kids as well. And not just my kids. I have seen a lot of bloggers who take help from their family, kids and husbands at this stage, who are like, we're all on the same stage right now.
Sure.
And it's a lot of pressure on the husband, especially, because if the picture is not right, they're in trouble. Yes, a team is, I would love to work with a team, inshallah, when I grow my page, when I am able to pay them.
So that's probably the next step in the evolution for you, to be able to get something.
I think every influencer, that's the next stage.
Yeah. What advice would you give your younger self? There are a couple of things behind that question. One, coming from an Asian background and being a woman, there are many things that we don't necessarily, or rather we take for granted at times, right? Exposure to whether it is financial instruments, exposure to the financial concepts and thoughts. can be tricky at best in the backgrounds that we come from. But if you had to look at where you are today and go back and advise your younger self that, this is what you should have done, or this is what I think I should have advised my younger self.
I think I would have advised myself, I wish I saved all the pocket money my dad used to give me. Trust me, in those days, now when I tell my kids about it, we used to get 200 dirhams a month and we used to spend it for like 6 months. And they laugh. They're like, but we want 200 for a week.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, kids don't know the value of money. But me, because now I work hard and I know how difficult it is to earn even that 100 dirham, I really wish that easy money that was coming without me doing anything, I saved it. Maybe I saved it for my kids or maybe for myself, but it would have been so much by now. But yeah, our pocket monies or the money that we make out of our little hobbies. We used to have, some small markets in our school where we used to make things and sell it. That was easy money. That was fun money. But we never valued it. We were like, oh, we can have money. Let's go buy candies. Yeah. But now, like I tell my child as well, like, when Baba is giving you pocket money, save it.
Yeah.
And they're like, save for what?
Yeah, exactly.
You will know. You will know better.
Yeah. And one more, your message to aspiring influencers.
Sorry. I think, first of all, everybody is an influencer. Okay, you don't need a social platform to become an influencer. We all have some sort of an impact on, a person next to us. I might have left an impact on you. You are leaving an impact on me. We don't realize, but we are actually impacting people's life by our words, our actions, maybe our confidence, maybe our smile. So everybody is an influencer. Yep. But to become a social media influencer, the first thing that you have to do and you must do is stay real. Stay true to your audience. Stay true to your content. Give your best. Yep. Because that's what the brands want, and that is what will take you forward. Plagiarism and copying concept is not acceptable. When people put in a lot of effort before they create a content, and if somebody just copies it, it's just without giving any credit. That's not right. And I think before you become a social influencer, do look into work ethics, how you should work as an influencer, how you should work as a community. I know there's a lot of competition, but trust me, if we all work as a community together, we can make such a big of a difference. Like recently I started talking about, we should stop doing barter deals. We should stop doing barter deals. And I openly talk about that on my platform. Correct. And a lot of my blogger friends came up to me and they said, that is so true. I don't know why we've been doing this and we should stop this. And if we all join together and say no to the brand, they will be forced to at least pay 3 of us, if not 10 of us. Correct. So, as a community, we can make a big impact. And as an individual, the competition is just going to frustrate you, drain your energy, make you emotionally weak. So don't let that, competition get over the fact that community can make a big difference. That's my only message.
That's a fantastic message. I think every one of us benefits from coming together and being able to have a voice to represent the profession. It's been a pleasure talking to you, sir. How can our audience reach you? Where can they find you? Give us your social handles so that they can reach out to you.
I am always available on seher.i.mansoor. It's seher.i.mansoor. That's my page. I share real life content. I share my journey as a mom, as an individual. I share my struggles. I share my failure. You might find me crying one day. You might find me dancing one day. So it's all ups and downs that we as women, experience in our life, day-to-day life, and that is what I share. So if you're looking for something like that, then I think I'm your person to follow.
Awesome. And to our audience, please do go check out Seher's channel and follow her and engage with her content. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. Pleasure.